Logan Paul is selling his Pikachu Illustrator card that he bought for $5.3 million a few years ago. Now, that statement doesn't make quite a lot of sense because, allegedly, multiple people still own the Pikachu Illustrator card because he sold fractions of it on a website called Liquid Marketplace. Liquid Marketplace also so happens to be a website that Logan Paul already co-founded. So I'm going to cover all the information that I know on hand, but first, we need to make sure we understand who Logan Paul is and his history of scamming his audience. The most notable instance being CryptoZoo, a online crypto hatching egg majig of a platform that still hasn't paid out the thousands of victims who lost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. CoffeeZilla made a lot of videos regarding the subject, and I highly advise you to watch them. Of course, Logan Paul's main defense to this was that, oh, it wasn't my fault. It was just other people within the company doing the scamming, not me. I feel so sorry for the victims. I am doing everything in my power to make sure that they get their money back. Well, it's been a few years and Logan Paul still hasn't done that. That is a very, very brief recap of the CryptoZoo situation. It is far more complex, far more intricate than my summary. However, it gives some insight of the character of Logan Paul and his past history of being involved in a lot of weird, shady situations. Now, before we get into the news of Logan Paul selling his Pikachu card and his statement regarding Liquid Marketplace, we need to dive a little bit into the Pikachu card. There is a lot of rumors and a lot of evidence to suggest that the same PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card, by the way, there's only one in the world, that previously it was not a PSA 10, but rather a PSA 9. Listen, I have my differences with Rattle Pokemon, but he definitely shares a lot of valuable information that I would like to highlight. So props to him. Here's the actual scan of the PSA 10 Illustrator Pikachu. And as you see while we're scrolling through the pictures, it does not really look that mint. We have whitening on the corner right here. We have another instance of whitening on the corner. By the way, I think these are actually on the case itself. Same thing with this. This is obviously scratches on the case, not the card. But again, we see that there is more whitening on the card. And there are pictures where allegedly that same PSA 10 Pikachu is seen in these photos. Although it's not a PSA 10, but it's rather a PSA 9. Now, whether this is the same exact PSA 10 card that Logan Paul has is still up for debate. But there seems to be a level of solid evidence out there. For example, Rattle Pokemon says if you compare the holo pattern placement and damage, or watch my videos where I reference the previous owners, which seems to be a person named Matt Allen. This is the person that Logan Paul bought the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator. So the theory is that Matt Allen had a PSA 9 and regraded it into a PSA 10. Now, obviously, people are saying there's some foul play involved. In my personal opinion, even if we were to suggest that the PSA 9 Illustrator Pikachu is the same exact one as the PSA 10, I would say the likelihood of PSA just simply regrading the Illustrator Pikachu and giving it a far more generous grade is probably the most likely scenario. As we know, PSA has a history of not being the most consistent when it comes to grading cards. Some PSA 9s get regraded into 10s, some PSA 10s get regraded into 9s. At the very least, you could definitely make the argument that based on the condition of the card, this is not deserving of a PSA 10. Which I agree with. Now let's move on to the main event of this whole entire situation, where Logan Paul announces that he may be partnering up with an auction house known as Golden Auctions in order to sell his $5.3 million Pikachu Illustrator card.
Candidly, you guys aren't the only auction place.
I want to do the biggest Pokemon and TCG auction ever. I will give you a piece of every single thing that we sell in that auction. will make that lot number one. So if I have a $25 million auction and you're getting a piece of it, it's like a royalty, right? I mean, you know, it's free money.
I'd love to do business with you. I'm just saying, I think the deal needs to be sweet. That's all.
In other words, Logan Paul is trying to say, hey, I'm a grifter who came into the Pokemon community just because it was hot and hype, but now that it's at the very, very top and it's kind of cooling down, I want to cash out. Oh yeah, as you guys know, I'm fluent in my third language called Logan Paul BS.
I'm saying.
Okay, since I know that you like want cash now, what if you can walk out of here with a check for $1.5 million?
Okay. Me walking out of here with essentially would be an advance.
Yes.
Is appetizing. This particular piece means a lot to me. The 1.5 is nice, but we know his card's going to sell.
Of course, it's going to go for.
Honestly, hot take here, I don't think this card is going to sell more than $5.3 million. Without the help of shill bidding. Now, let's be honest. If this card will go on auction, there is absolutely going to be a lot of people probably involved in the Logan Paul circle, probably even Golden Auctions themselves, because again, it's a private website, it's a private company, it's not like eBay, so shill bidding is a lot more probable. So if it was a real, legitimate auction, I don't think that card would sell for $5.3 million. That is my honest opinion.
Oh, it may need to be a little higher.
What would make you happy walking out of here lay with?
Today, right now.
Right now.
You will write the check right now.
Yes.
Got an expensive wedding.
Sure.
$3 million.
$3 million, I'll tell you what. What I can do and I can justify, write your check right now for $2.5 million. In fact,
This guy's crazy.
2.5 mil. You a deal?
You are a crazy person.
So Golden Auctions is essentially saying, we know for a fact that this card is going to sell more than $2.5 million. So we're going to give you a check in advance. Yeah, dude. They are very, very hopeful about that. Now, granted, do I realistically think that it's going to sell more than $2.5 million? If it was without shill bidding, maybe. Maybe. That's stretching it. With shill bidding, oh yeah, absolutely, it's going to go over $2.5 million. Yeah, for sure. But let's be honest, do I really think that card is worth $2.5 million or even more than that? I'm not too sure. I'm very skeptical. But hey, if a card sells for a specific price, then I guess it's worth that price. I'm just saying the way it got to that price may have involved a lot of market manipulation and a lot of secret cabal circle jerking.
Person.
I've been told that before.
I have to say, my heart tells me to do this deal with you, and so I will do the deal with you.
Great.
Oh yeah, your heart tells you. So, yeah, sure. But you know, your bank account is telling you. Your greedy ass motherfucking brain is telling you. It ain't your goddamn heart, bro. It ain't that.
Great.
Now give me that.
That's so funny. Guys, did you enjoy my joke where I joked about not actually caring about the Pokemon card? And I only cared about the money? You think that was a good joke, huh? Now, after the news of Logan Paul selling that card, a lot of people had to pause a little bit and think, hey, Logan Paul, didn't you sell percentages of that card on a place called Liquid Marketplace? A website that basically allows co-ownerships of specific collectible items. Didn't already people purchase and spend probably tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just to own a portion of your Pikachu Illustrator card? Well, apparently Logan Paul came out with a statement saying, well, actually, nope. Those people don't own it anymore. Attention Liquid Marketplace users, as you may know, the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator was previously listed on Liquid Marketplace where users could purchase tokens that, according to the company, represented fractional ownership interests in the card. In May 2024, consistent with the platform's terms, I repurchased the card. Why did I never hear about this? I have never heard once that Logan Paul purchased the Pikachu Illustrator card back from all the other people that own fractions of it through Liquid Marketplace. Maybe I am living under a bubble, but I am positive he has never publicly announced that. So that's a little bit suspicious. It's almost like perhaps he is making this shit on the spot, pulling stuff out of his ass. I paid a substantial buyout amount to the platform, which was intended to be distributed to fractional owners based on their respective percentages. I was informed at the time that the funds had been distributed accordingly. Oh, that's interesting. Unfortunately, afterward, the company and some of its principal faced regulatory scrutiny, a process in which I have had no involvement or insight, as it does not relate to me. Oh, that's interesting, Logan Paul. Wow. Oh, what's this? Oh, reader's contact. Oh, well, that's weird. Logan Paul launched Liquid Marketplace in April 2022, calling it My Next Company and promoting fractional ownership. What? It didn't involve you? No. What do you mean? Oh, well, let's look at this video.
What's up, y'all? Logan here. As an avid collector and strategic investor myself, I am so stoked to announce the launch of Liquid Marketplace, a platform where collectors can buy and sell fractions of rare collectibles via tokens on the blockchain. As a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace, I believe...
As a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace, introducing My Next Company. You had no idea what was going on. Wow, I totally believe you. Especially given the fact you already had a previous company called CryptoZoo who scammed hundreds if not millions of dollars from customers and still hasn't paid them back. Yes, this was just another miscalculation on your part. You had absolutely no idea just with the last company, and just like the company you're going to have in the future where you're potentially going to scam a bunch of other people as well. Wow. Allegedly, of course, can't forget about that word. Very, very, very important word if you're covering these topics. You always want to drop that allegedly term in just in case if they sue you, which... at this point is definitely a possibility because Logan Paul sued the person that was investigating CryptoZoo, CoffeeZilla. So, shit may be in the realm of possibilities at this point. But going back to this, I recently learned that the platform also experienced operational issues which affected user access to accounts and funds held on the platform. As a result, many Liquid Marketplace users have been unable to access their buyout proceeds or wallet balances with no clear timeline for a resolution. For those affected and unable to withdraw your funds, please know that I'm actively working with Liquid Marketplace to help ensure these funds can be released in the near future, just as I intended when I repurchased the Illustrator in May 2024, which again, when did you fucking announce that? I have no idea when the fuck you said that. And sure enough, no, there is no evidence that Logan Paul publicly announced that the repurchase of the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card from fractional owners on Liquid Marketplace in or around May 2024 or at any point prior December 24th, 2025 announcement. Wow. You would think if you were making such a big decision that you would at least tweet about it. You would think that would be a smart move, huh? It's almost like, wait a minute. It's almost like he's pulling this shit out of his ass as an excuse to justify him selling the Pikachu Illustrator card. But anyway, that's all the information I have for you guys today. Logan Paul is yet again allegedly potentially scamming his audience, obviously showing that he was only in the community for his own gain, for clout, for hype. He was only here because he knew he could get a lot of views and a lot of monetary value from doing it. Whatever Logan Paul says, just assume he is lying or rather grifting to appease an audience. I don't say that towards a lot of people. In fact, I always warn people of the danger of always assuming the worst in people because it leads to sour outcomes. However, in terms of Logan Paul, I'll have to humbly go against my own teachings here because it seems that he is not worth that. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you later, weebs.
せーのでもそんなんじゃダメもうそんなんじゃほら 心は進化する